the directors met for our annual board retreat. We had a lot of great work come out of that. I just wanted to share some of that with you. We have a lot going on before our next board meeting in February. Some of the key focus areas that we found at the retreat, first and foremost, was impact, something that Kelly had already mentioned. Measuring our outcomes both with our interns, but also our chapters and our alumni. So where are they now? Who's doing what? And how can we better serve our constituents? That kind of evaluation will be headed under the program committee of the board. Moving on, financial stability was our second highest focus area, and our goal for the next 3 years is to be at about $700,000 to $800,000 in recurring revenue. 400 of that will come from Nino and 300 from the chapters. Our third focus area was the students. We want to standardize our resources for leadership development. We want to create a world where we have conscious global leaders, so really investing in our students and especially our exec teams at our chapters to be the best that they can be. And then fourth, succession planning. We want to make sure that moving forward, we always have strong leadership, whether that be at the board level, the national office level, or within our student organizations. Those 4 areas were really we really got into deeply with the board. There were 3 other areas that we identified that we didn't go as deep, but we are aware of them and we're working on them. Those include communications, so brand awareness and advocacy, partnerships, and ventures. Some other discussions that came up at the board retreat included our mission, vision, and values. There are a number of board members who feel that it is time to update our mission, vision, and values. So we've implemented it, or we're trying to implement that the next couple months here to really look at what our mission means and what it means to our students, to the board, and to our donors, and how that varies a little bit. Another area that has been talked about extensively at the board level has been registration fees in regards to having a sort of volunteerist outlet in a way that we can create revenue for the national office and really capitalize on the Nourish experience and selling that to students who aren't necessarily members of Nourish yet. So we are implementing another task force for that. So this registration fee will actually include program costs for training, as well as Nourish insurance, which all of our interns are required to purchase from the national office. This is nothing new to the movement. It's been on the board for quite a while. It was first brought up by former board member Marcia Engel. Today, Emery Clayton, as well as a few other board members, really want to see this through and see a task force discuss our different options with that. Emery will chair that committee. Frank Phoenix, Christelle, and Sindura and myself will also be on that committee to discuss our options and see kind of the cost-benefit analysis of what this could mean for the organization and how it fits into our mission. Another task force that came out of the board retreat was surrounding Nourish insurance. Right now, our executive director, Kelly Phoenix, is the only one who's licensed to sell Nourish insurance. So we're looking at different options of maybe we need to license someone else on staff, or is it time for Nourish insurance to spin out and become its own entity? That revenue from that would go towards Nourish International, the 501c3 company. Another great thing that we did that some of you may be aware of or have done in the past is rapid prototyping. The board sat down, we took about 1 hour to sit down and tackle about 5 problems that the national office is having and come up with solutions or potential solutions for those issues. Some of those issues could be student development. Another one was our brand and how do we talk about Nourish and how can we get Nourish to become a household name. And our project leadership training, which is a huge deal both for our partners and for our students to make sure that we're really doing the work that we set out to do. And I see, John Paul, you have a question about the mission. If you see over on the chat, John Paul's asking how would the mission be updated? So what the board is looking at right now, the board feels that the mission is not addressing what we actually do. From the board's perspective, they see that the students, trying to remember exactly what we said, really what the board is seeing is that the end goal of Nourish isn't necessarily impacting poverty. We're using impacting poverty and connecting with communities as a way to build conscious global leaders. That can be both our students and our partners. So really, our mission is to build a society where we are globally conscious and we're preparing leaders for tomorrow. So there is a disconnect between what the students see. Our 2 student board members and myself have brought up different issues with changing the mission, vision, and values and how that will affect our students as well as our donors. But it's something that the board really feels that we should delve into deeper. Right now, the position of the board is that we want to accomplish a lot of these things by February 4th, which is our next full board meeting. There is some discussion that we may scale that back and really delve into 1, maybe 3 of these ideas right now and make sure that we're making sound decisions, we're getting all the information, and we know all of the impact that our decisions are going to have on everyone within the movement. That's another reason why I wanted to speak with you guys today, because this does affect you and it's something that is near and dear to your heart. So if you have ideas or questions or concerns about how the board is moving forward, please feel free to let me know. There will be a memo that is sent out after this call and it has all of my contact information, so you can feel free to contact me at a later time. There should be some more time at the end of this as well to ask questions. And then a couple announcements here you can see on the screen. In January, we have the Nourish Royale, which is a major fundraiser put on by the board. It'll be at 21C Museum Hotel in Durham. You can come to enjoy some casino games, a silent auction, drinks, and heavy hors d'oeuvres. Right now, our board is made up of 14 members. We have space for 17, so there are 3 board seats open. We're hoping to add 1 more student board member, which will bring the total up to 3. And currently, Sindura and I are the only alumni on to fill a couple of those with alumni. So if you're interested, feel free to contact either of us. And then if you're not willing to commit to a 3-year term on the board, we do have multiple board committees that if you're interested in, you can serve on. You do not have to be a member of the board. And then lastly, board minutes are public access. If you ever have questions about what's going on at the board level, you're more than welcome to contact me, ask for the minutes. Those are open for everyone within the network and anyone outside of the network. As a nonprofit, we have to disclose our minutes. So if you ever have questions, you can ask me or just go directly to the board minutes. Are there any other questions? I think I might have 1 more minute.
Yes. Something else. Do you guys hear me echoing?
You're breaking up just a little bit.
Yes, we've got it. So if you maybe want to try muting your computer while you're speaking or something, that might help.
Or just turning down the volume all the way.
Turning down the volume. There you go.
What about now? Can you hear me now?
Gotcha.
Hello?
Clear.
Okay, so if you can't hear me, just interrupt me. This is Kelly. I was pulling in my driveway and my internet was messing up my phone signal. But the last announcement that Jared hasn't shared yet that'll be in his memo is I did let the board know that this is my last school year at Nourish. And I have until next August when I'll be transitioning and I will wait till a successor is in place to transition. But I've been at Nourish for 4 years now. I view 5 years as like an awesome commitment, and I've accomplished so much in 5 years. Thanks to everyone's support, and I'm ready for a new chapter in my life and to try something different. I will remain very much involved in Nourish. I will still advise when I can, donate when I can, volunteer, be at the Institute. I'm just looking to start a new chapter in my life and maybe spend more time with family. And I feel like we're on the cusp of some new great things, and I'm really excited about who could come in and lead the organization forward in the future. So I'm sharing that with you all tonight. That's not public knowledge. So, don't go sharing it yet, because I am going to send out a formal letter. It will be in the memo to the alums. We will let the students know next in the next couple weeks. And we definitely will have a very open and inclusive hiring process. So if you're interested in serving on the committee to hire my successor, or if you have some really good thoughts or candidates please let me know. I'd love to put you in touch with Kristen Summers. She will be chairing. She's the vice chair right now, and she will be chairing the search for my successor. And I'm happy to answer any questions later after the call. And any of you can email me personally with any advice or ideas.
Hey, Kelly, just real quick, Tommy here. Me and Sandura wanted to say that we are sad to see you go, but we really, really appreciate what you've done for Nourish, and you've done an amazing job, and we're glad we have you till August.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I've loved it. I mean, it's been hard. You guys know that, but I've learned so much. I feel like I've gotten a free MBA at Nourish, and there's so many great memories and so many people that are going to be in my life forever. So thank you.
Thank you. I guess I was a conversation killer there.
So thanks so much,
Hey, this is
Garrett. Oh, sorry.
Garrison.
Hey,
Sorry, I just wanted to jump in there. Hi, Kelly, thank you so much. But I'm really sad to hear that, but I'm excited for you. I know that you're going to bring great things to whatever you do next. So congratulations to whoever that group is. I just had a question. Jared, I was a little confused about the piece where you're talking about the registration and sort of sharing the Nourish experience with people who haven't yet been pulled into that. So I was wondering if you could talk a little bit more about that.
Definitely. So there are a few members on the board of directors who feel that we aren't capitalizing on some of the students that apply to be Nourish interns who were not first Nourish members. There's concern on the board and among a lot of the movement that we do have students who apply to go to these trips, and they didn't really put in the work beforehand. They weren't involved with our ventures, they weren't involved in the project selection, none of that. They were never part of the movement until it came time to go abroad. What some of the board feels is that this is an opportunity for us as a movement to capitalize on that and charge those students a registration fee that would potentially cover program costs for training, time from the staff, as well as Nourish insurance. So it's a way for the board sees it as a way for the national office to increase income. Not everyone agrees, so we do have a task force to explore this issue. Right now there is no consensus around it, so we can't say that it's actually going to happen, but we are exploring the issue. Does that help?
Yeah, great. Thanks for sharing.
Hey guys, Anna Marie here. Just to kind of piggyback on what Jared just said, I really appreciate the update from the board retreat. As you can see, our board was busy, very busy at the retreat, and created several task forces to work through some of these opportunities and questions that many of which have been discussed within the board for a long time. But I do want to echo Kelly's sentiment when she was talking about how the group that's being put together for her succession planning is going to be inclusive of alumni and students and board members and donors and partners. We are pushing ourselves and our board to do the same thing with all of the other task forces. So I want to put a call out if anybody is interested and feels strongly about any of these issues. I know that many of us do. We would love to have you guys on these task forces, part of these conversations with our board members. All of these can be open to alumni and students. So we'll follow up to see how we can best make that happen. Are there any other questions from anybody on the call for Kelly, for Jared, for the program team? We will give a brief update from each of y'all's chapters, everybody who's on the call. I have a short update that I can give from your chapter. But overall, as far as what we're doing as a national office, what we're doing as a movement, and what our programs and partnerships are looking like right now, does anybody have any specific questions to follow up on? Great. Well, we will obviously put a call out for follow-up questions in the meeting minutes that will go out as well. So if anything comes up, know that we're always available to talk further about any of this stuff. So we will move right along here in our agenda. And just FYI, guys, if you want to chat any questions and not unmute yourself, you can do that too. So we kind of covered program updates already, which is great. So now we will move on to chapter updates. So here we are. I think I caught the majority of people who were on the call in the introductions. And I will highlight a few of y'all. I will try to get everybody's chapters covered. But if I forget your chapter, it's because I'm forgetful or I didn't hear you. So just speak up and say, hey, can I get an update about Wake Forest chapter? And I'll say, of course you can. So, go Deeks. I know that we've got some folks from UNC on the line, and great news for you guys. We're doing a leaderboard system for our chapters now, which is on the member resource site, which is this really great web portal where we put all of our resources. All the students have a login. They can chat on it. They can access the ventures database. They can access the projects database, and they can also get all of the announcements and resources and tools that they need through this member resource site. By the way, that's also open to alumni if you guys are interested in checking it out. It's just memberresources.nourish.org, and you can create your own login. Anyway, so we've got this chapter leaderboard for venture profit as well as number of registered members. And Tar Heels will be happy to hear that UNC is in the lead with venture profit right now. Their total revenue to date is about $9,700, and their top ventures so far this year have been Hunger Lunch, Sprout, and Thrift Sale. Let's see where they are on members. They have 14 members registered on the site. So, I mean, we all know that UNC has a lot more members in their chapter, but it's pretty impressive that this is the first year that we've had this membership component up, and they're doing great. So the third thing that I will check for you here, you know what, they have not picked their partnership yet, but they will do that in late November. So we will keep you guys updated with that. So next, I know that we also have some Buckeyes on the phone from the Ohio State University. Ohio State has the 7th top membership count of the movement. They've got 24 members registered right now. OSU is going to be partnering again with Samarth Charitable Trust in India this summer, and that's a joint partnership with Butler. So something that I think the majority of us know is that all of our partnerships are at least 2 years now, and the majority of our partnerships are multi-chapter. So chapters will team up with 1 or 2 other chapters and combine their finances as well as their interns for these partnerships. We've also bumped up the partnership process where we're matching them much earlier in the year. As you can tell, they're already matched now. And Ellen has done a phenomenal job doing that, which is really helping us establish deeper connections and more relationships with our partners. All right, let's see who else we have on here. I know that we had Boston College on here, 19 registered members, and their total venture revenue so far is about $1,400. Their main ventures have been cupcakes, and they got a grant from MCN. Oh, and by the way, I know Ohio State, they were not on the top 20 before this week for their venture revenue, but I know that they will be afterwards because they had their ugly Christmas sweater sale this week, and I know that in the first day they made over $1,200. Maxie might know more, or Grace might know more details about that. Let's see. I know we have some UCLAers on here. So let's see if I can find any information about you guys. Sorry, I'm just switching through tabs here. And if you guys, they made over $2,000. Very good with the ugly sweater sale and had a hilarious promo video for it. So if anybody would like to hear an update from your chapter, I'd love to give it to you. If you just want to chat in your chapter name, or you can unmute yourself and say it, that would be great. UCLA started the year with a ton of savings, almost $7,000, and they've also made over $200 in venture revenue so far, and it looks like their expenses have been nothing. So UCLA is trucking along as well, and I can see how many members they have. Looks like we've got 5 members registered from UCLA, so I'm sure they'll be getting more and more every week. Let's see. Any other chapters represented on the call? Georgia. I know University of Georgia. I don't know what they're doing. Anybody else want to hear an update from your chapter? All right, cool. When we do these calls, which we're going to be hoping to do them once a quarter, we've heard from alumni that what they want to hear is not only what the national office is doing and what the movement's doing as a whole, but what their own chapter, how their own chapter is doing. So that's why we decided to include a little chapter update section here. So we will move right along. And Jonathan, are you still? Yeah, here you are. If you want to, yeah, there he is. Take it away.
Cool. Well, thanks a lot. And I'm going off my phone audio. Can everyone hear me okay? Santa Maria,
yes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Great. So 4 things coming from the Nourish Professional Committee. First thing is it's the Professional Committee, which is a new thing that we started this past summer. We had our annual just Summer Institute mentorship meeting where we talk about the direction of Nourish and just get some of the updates and talk through some of the issues that they're having. And this past summer in the room, we had donors, we had friends of Nourish, we had Nino alumni, we had so many people that were that loved Nourish and wanted to be a part of Nourish in some fashion. But before this point, we've had pretty fractioned buckets for these people. So we've consolidated everyone who is, generally a friend, alumni, donor of Nourish into a Nourish professional. So you are all Nourish professionals. All our donors are Nourish professionals. And we hope this is a little easier for Nino as well, the national office.
So instead of sending donor emails and alumni emails, which they very well might still do, if they want to send something to all of the professionals in the network, they can just do that, and it's much easier for them. The second point that we wanted to touch on is the rice and beans. This is the monthly subscription style donation to Nourish. And as we, as a network, grow, many of us are getting into the point where we're settling down. We have a little more steady income, and so with that, we hope that you make some room in your monthly budget to give to Nourish in the same way that you would give to Netflix. It can be anything from $5, which is just cutting out a couple cups of coffee a month, to however much you feel comfortable giving. That also helps Nino be able to predict income in a more accurate fashion, and helps them be able to budget a little better. So yes, the Rice and Beans, a link to the Rice and Beans Club and sign-up process will be sent out in an email following this call. And so yeah, please join the Rice and Beans Club. The third thing that I wanted to talk to you all about was the alumni mentorship. And so the alumni mentorship is something that it's in its third year. And the idea is that we get alumni, or a pool of alumni, and the chapters will sign up for a project. They will give a specific time, duration, and project type, and then we will match them up with a mentor from that pool, and they will work together. We'll put them together, and they will help. The alumni will help out, give some extra brain power. In the past, we've had people help out in negotiating lower prices for the cost of a venture, or for managing the distribution of, or the shipping of some component of a venture, or helping out with fundraising, or just helping out with the launch of a venture, or anything. It can be international projects, it can be ventureship related, it can be leadership or an organizational project. So there's a lot of ways to help, and particularly those who are just out of undergrad and have just completed their time nourishing. You guys know the Nourish process so well that getting you in that alumni mentorship bank is really helpful. So please sign up for that. That is something that you can do in a number of ways. You can do that through the website, through the survey that we sent out previously. So yeah, be on the lookout for the alumni mentorship. Also, if you are, like I said, not too far removed from your chapter, we do have a pool of 20+ mentors right now. We're switching into the phase of drumming up demand for the mentorship. So finding ways that alumni can engage and help ventures or chapters. So if you do know people who are executives of chapters, or ventures directors, IP directors of chapters, reach out to them and see if there's anything that they just need a little bit of extra brain power or labor hours to get done, or something that's kind of on the back burner that they might not be able to address with the resources that they have right now. The alumni committee is in the process of growing an alumni database that will be accessible to students, so they can just know who their alumni are, know who they can call if they have a question about the process of getting a venture started, or anything that's specific to that campus. So yes, please reach out to them, and we can help them out in a number of ways if they, for a lot of different issues. The fourth thing that I wanted to talk about was we are doing and piloting regional hubs this year. This is something that Becca is working on, Becca Holt. And actually, if you go to the previous slide, you can see the 3 alumni committee co-chairs. There's Becca Holt, myself, Jonathan Weatherby, and John Paul Smith. And so yes, Becca Holt is the one who's piloting the regional hubs. And you can see there the first areas that we're looking to pilot this program is in the Bay Area in San Francisco. We have quite a pool of people there, and the North Carolina Triangle. So if you are in any of those areas, be sure to shoot an email to Anna Marie or any Nourish email notifying us of where your location is. On the Nourish website, there is a link and a process where you can update your location and your address, so you can keep us posted through that. So other than that, thank you guys for your time and for joining the call. And you can email me if you have any other questions regarding the professional committee. So thank you. And with that, I'll yield the time back to Anna Marie and company.
Great. Thank you so much, Jonathan. And yeah, I just wanted to give a shout out to our professional council chairs this year. They've done a really great job of spearheading these efforts and getting some cool projects off the ground. So shout out to Becca and John Paul and Jonathan for doing that. We are kind of at the end of our call here. I just wanted to open it up to see if there were any other questions. If you guys were hoping to hear anything that you haven't heard yet. Like I said, we're just starting these calls, but we do want to have them once a quarter and open them up to be all alumni calls. And I think that as we continue to have them, word will spread, and we will end up having lots and lots of participants on this call. So I want to make sure that it's giving you guys the information that you'd like.
Yeah, Anne-Marie, I'll just say that, Jared, I really appreciated your report from the board. And I'd love to challenge the alumni that are on the call that if they do feel strongly to please reach out to us, because we definitely need your voice, and we definitely want to know what you think about some of the potentially big opportunities that we have, but also some of the big changes that we're discussing. So please don't hesitate to email me or Sindura, who's on the board, or Jared. We really do care what you think, and we really want to know what your thoughts are. Thanks.
Any other questions from anybody calling in?
I'll just jump in here and say that this call was great, and I really appreciate all the information you shared. So I really enjoyed it and look forward to the next one.
Thanks, Garrison. Thanks, John Paul. All right, guys. Well, we will go ahead and wrap up 2 minutes early. Let the record show that we ended early. And we love all of our alumni, so please stay in touch. Make sure that we have your updated contact information. And I'm going to be sending out a follow-up to this. I know there were a ton of alumni who also wanted to call in. I did record this webinar starting with Jared. I forgot to record you, Kelly. Sorry. So I'm going to make you do your spiel again tomorrow in the office, and I'm going to record you. But I'm going to be sharing the video, or however, how it captures this webinar, as well as a follow-up email. And we will look forward to touching base at the next State of the Movement All Professionals call next quarter. And hope everybody has happy holidays.
Awesome. Thank you. Everyone jam and mash the numbers on your phone to convey love.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Look across.
Yeah, look across.
Bye.